Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of our Church Plant Journey blog. My name is Michael.
I'm Emily.
And whether you are here supporting us and cheering us on, or you're on a church plant journey of your own, we're super glad that you're watching. Today,
so we decided maybe this should have been our first episode, but we're kind of going all the way back to the beginning to answer the question, what is a church plant? Some of you may be thinking, is this like a plant that grows inside of a church? Why are they planting things in churches? But a church plant is just a way of saying it's a new ministry. We're going to an area where we really feel like God has kind of made us passionate for to start a brand new church there.
Yeah, so actually there's many different types of church plants. We're actually learning about several of them now. But essentially, I think in order to define what a church plant is, you have to just go to the word, what is a church? And so what we know about a church is that a church really isn't a building. It's not a Sunday morning service time. Those things are awesome, but what actually makes a church is a gathering of people. That's actually the definition of church. It's ecclesia, if you want to get really technical. And it just means a gathering of people, specifically people who are dedicated to following Jesus. And so for us, essentially what we want to do is go to Long Island, New York, and form a brand new gathering or assembly of people who are just committed to learning how we can best follow Jesus.
Yeah, and so along the way, we have been asked many questions, and we would love to hear what questions you have. But some of the questions we've been asked are, why Long Island? Why plant a church? There's already plenty of churches. Why not just go and get involved in one? Why are you leaving a church that you are involved in to go and do this? Why not just stay where you're planted? Why are you going to uproot and go somewhere else? And there are many reasons for that, and we've been looking into different studies and researching. That's a big part of our residency program. It's just researching why plant a church.
Yeah.
And so we have some statistics to share with you. One of those is that typically a church is most fruitful or most successful within its first 3 years. So starting a brand new church is a really great way to reach a community. And that includes the actual benefits for churches that are already there in that community. Bringing a church plant into a community is good for all the churches in that community, not just the new one.
Yeah. In fact, a brand new church, statistically speaking, is more effective at reaching new residents in the city. It's more effective at reaching younger people and actually non-white people as well. They say brand new churches do that really well. And also, I thought this one was a good one too. Brand new churches are 6 to 8 times more effective evangelistically, which is just a real churchy word for basically they're really effective at reaching people and sharing faith with those who don't know about Jesus and don't know about what we do. And there's another really staggering statistic as well that I'll let you share.
Yeah, which we call, this is like the discipleship reason, which discipleship just simply means creating followers of Jesus, people who want to follow Jesus. And church plants typically would baptize 1 out of every 3 people who attend. So that's a huge number considering that most churches, is it 1 out of 90?
1 out of 95.
1 out of 95 people in an established church. So a new church is creating more followers of Jesus through discipleship and more people getting baptized. And you may even be asking, well, why does any of that matter? Well, we truly believe that following Jesus makes your life better. It makes you better at life. And ultimately, that just like us, people who can come to our church plant and discover Jesus can find hope for their future. They can find an eternal hope, something outside themselves to get involved in. And as 2 people who grew up on Long Island, we knew how much we needed that, and we want to bring that back to our hometown.
So in a nutshell, as our pastor at Grace Church says, church plants are just better. They're just better is what he says. They're better at evangelism. They're better at reaching people. They're better at making disciples.
And they're better for the community, the churches that are already established there. It's a great way to support them.
But that's not to say that the existing churches aren't doing a great job or aren't good themselves. It's just a whole different approach to reaching the city. And in fact, we are so excited one day. We cannot wait to start planting churches from our church plant. And we don't care if a church planter comes out of our church and plants a church down the street. because we know that church plants are better. And so in 3 years, or maybe even a year from now, if somebody wants to go down the road or the next town over and plant a church, we're going to do all that we can to support them and resource them. And so we're so excited to be a church that actually plants churches, hopefully that plant churches and just continue multiplying in that way.
Right.
And I wanted to share one more staggering statistic. I think we've shared this in a previous video, but it's worth mentioning again. And that is, if you didn't know nationally, you probably didn't know this because why would you? It's random. But on a national average, there is typically one church for every 800 people. That's across the country in America. But on Long Island, where we want to plant, there's actually only one church for every 4,300 people. And that's a huge, huge difference. So we're really sorely misrepresented on the island. So we're excited to kind of plant a new church where we actually really need a lot more churches.
Yeah, and honestly, aside from all the statistics are fun and they help us, they fuel us, they help us to share why it's important and why we do what we do. But honestly, the statistics only support a passion that we have already had. And so we're glad to share those statistics, but ultimately, why plant a church? Well, it's because it's something we're passionate about. We really want to do it. It's fun, it's exciting, and we're just really excited to see what God has for Long Island.
Yeah, in fact, this has been a dream of ours since we were teenagers, honestly. We didn't think that it would play out this way, the way that's happened. I always thought that I'd be the music guy at a church plant. I didn't know that this would be the path that we'd take, but we're so excited, and like she said, those statistics, they really just support the passion that we feel God has put into our hearts. And so, if perhaps God is putting passion into your heart, maybe you're thinking, how can I get involved in the church planting world, and specifically maybe in what we're doing? We would absolutely love to have you as part of our team. And so there's really just one step that you can take, and that's to visit our website, which is churchplantjourney.com. And from there, you can sign up for our newsletter. You can learn more about what our plan is. You can give to our church plant, and you can look into what it means to be on the core team of our church, meaning like you can possibly come with us to Long Island, or if you're already there, you can just be a part of that launch team that gets this brand new church off the ground. So churchplantjourney.com.
Another great way that you can support church planting in general is to talk to your pastor, talk to your church leadership, and find out what is your church doing to support church planting. Maybe you can have those conversations. Maybe you'll be surprised that they're already doing a whole lot for church planting, or maybe you can be the person who leads and spearheads that door opening for your church to be able to come alongside and support church plants.
Yeah, absolutely. After all, we know that the church really is God's primary vehicle for getting his message to the world. That's just how he set it up. And what's so beautiful about that is we actually together have an opportunity to partner with God. It's so weird. He could just write the message in the sky. He could come to people in dreams if he wanted to, but for whatever reason, he wants to use you and me and all of us.
Imperfect people.
Imperfect people.
Who don't have all the answers.
Yes, to make a difference for him. And so we're excited to be along for the ride, and we would love to invite you to join us. So as always, we really can't wait to see what God's got in store for us. What maybe he's got in store for you, and ultimately what he's got in store for Long Island.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Just freeze a little longer.